Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Zoe. I am a beauty, fashion, lifestyle YouTuber. I just started this channel, and if that's your kind of thing, I would love for you to subscribe down below. And at the end of this video, if you like it, I would love for you to also like the video. It really helps me out. So today I am putting my makeup skills to the test, and I'm going to try and recreate one of my favorite beauty YouTubers' makeup tutorials. I am a little nervous and really excited for this video because I have been wanting to do a video like this since way before I even started a YouTube. I believe Thomas Halbert, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's the one that started this trend in, I think, 2018, and it really just blew up, and a lot of people are still doing recreations of other YouTubers' makeup tutorials, and I just think it's a really fun concept. And it's a little nerve-wracking because obviously one person's skills might be better than the other person's skills, and I'm definitely putting my makeup skills to the test today doing this girl's makeup tutorial. But I believe that she's had a lot more practice than I have, and so I really want to see how well I do when following along with her tutorial. I think it'll be interesting and fun to see how it turns out. So I really hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's hop into this video. I am in my bedroom right now, and it's pretty crazy. If you could see my surroundings, I'm surrounded by makeup and some laundry over there, but I'm gonna get this tutorial going. Think about cleaning later. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I'm constantly thinking about cleaning up all my messes I make and all the messes my kids make and my husband makes. He's probably the messiest person. But anyway, I'm in my bedroom. It's just like a chill setting right now. I've been like back and forth wanting like a more professional looking background, and then I'm like, I don't really care about the background. I'm all about the content and what I'm creating, and that's what's important to me. So I went with that vibe today. We're chill, we're comfy, time to do some makeup. I'm like really nervous to even start because this girl is crazy with makeup. She is so good at it, and also she's a lot more tan than me. I'm so pale right now. I haven't tanned in days. So this is like my natural skin tone. She's very tan. So this makeup might not look exactly like hers because I'm so pale, but I'm gonna do my best. One more thing that I just thought about is she likes to use a lot of high-end products. I do not own a lot of high-end products. I love my drugstore products. So we'll see if I can try and find the same products that she's using. Most likely I'm just going to have to try and find the most similar item that I have to what she's using. So this is gonna just be very interesting to see how it all turns out. So the YouTuber that I'm going to be following along today is Jordan LIPSCOMBE. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And I am so sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but I believe it's Jordan LIPSCOMBE. Her last name is spelled Lipscombe. So I believe it's LIPSCOMBE. I think I've heard her pronounce it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna be following her tutorial. She's just a goddess when it comes to makeup. She's amazing. I am very jealous of her makeup skills. I'm going to link her original video for this makeup tutorial down below, and I'm also going to link the Thomas Halbert original video for this whole trend down below, and that way you can kind of check it out, see what I'm recreating yourself. I am going to insert little bits of her video obviously into my video so that you can see what I'm following along. This is her go-to glam look. So she always tends to do her eyebrows off camera or first before she ever even starts her makeup. So I just went ahead and did my brows. I did them as similar to hers as I could. I'm going to play the first step and let's see what she does.
As for primer, I start off with this. This is like super dry. I'm pretty sure this is a skincare product, but I like it as a primer. This is the Deep Action Extreme Shine Control Solution.
Okay, so I don't have very oily skin or shiny skin. I think the closest primer I have to being hydrating, getting rid of pores and blemishes is the Poreless Putty Primer by e.l.f. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this because it's like the closest thing I have. I use quite a bit of this. I'm going to put little like globs of it all over my face. That's a weird word, glob. Bringing it down to my like neck and chin area because I'm bringing the foundation down there. So it like feels like just like a thick moisturizer. It's crazy what products e.l.f. has been coming out with. I feel like they're killing it. It's because not only are they cheap, but they work. She puts a lot of primer on. I'm gonna put a little bit more on. She pretty much puts a lot of everything on. I think that's why I chose her, is because she is like the whole opposite spectrum of makeup than me. I love the more natural look, and she always goes in with a lot of product. Looking good. Moving on to the next product.
And then I like to go in with like an actual primer to help my pores. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Looks a little...
That's kind of funny. Okay. Had no clue she was about to use the Poreless Putty Primer. I literally had no clue. So she's using two primers. I obviously used one of those two, so we are actually on track. We are following this tutorial almost to a T. So moving on to the next product.
What you want to do is take some translucent powder. This is the Laura Mercier one. Tap some out, only a little. This brush is my Hourglass like double-ended brush, but any sort of like big powder brush. Swirl her around, get some products on the brush, and then I do a light layer of powder.
So she just started doing this step, and she saw this on TikTok, and apparently it makes your makeup stay longer and just look a lot better. I have actually been very interested in doing this. So I guess now is the time that I am going to try this. I am going to do the NARS Translucent Setting Powder. The shade is Crystal. It's a light reflecting setting powder. I'm taking just like a Real Techniques big fluffy brush. Okay, moving on to the next step.
For my foundation, I've been mixing these two together and it's just a dreamy combo. The Too Faced, I don't know where the lid is. Too Faced Born This Way medium to full coverage foundation. I'm in shade Golden Beige, and then mix in some of my Morphe, is that the name? Yes. Fluidity Full Coverage Matte Foundation. This is in F2.40.
So I don't have any matte foundations. I never use matte foundations. I feel like they dry my skin out. So I am using F1 Revolution Foundation Stick, and it looks like that. And then she applies that foundation with a beauty blender, and she sprays the beauty blender with a setting spray. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray to apply this foundation. She puts so much foundation on, so I'm really going to go in a lot with this. Got a lot of the foundation on my lips. A really cute look. I don't think she put this foundation over her eyelids, but I'm sure she's going to set her eyelids with like concealer or something when she goes to do her eyes. So I think it's fine. I feel like that powder underneath the foundation and using the setting spray really did make a difference. My skin looks like nothing I've ever seen. It just looks flawless. Any discoloration or any blemishes and pores that I had have like disappeared completely. Moving on to the next step.
I just kind of put these on my skin, mix them together. I like to conceal and highlight, so
she's using the NYX Born to Glow concealer, and I happen to have that one in the shade Pale. She's obviously using a whole different shade, but I'm going to use the shade Pale. And then that is more close to, kind of close to my shade of foundation that I'm using. And then I'm going to use the Instant Age Rewind Eraser by Maybelline, and it's the multi-use concealer, and I got the lightest shade in Cool Ivory, and it's a very light shade, so I feel like this will be lighter than my foundation, I hope. It's really hard to highlight with concealer when you're already really pale and have a pale foundation on. I feel like I have to use like white. So first I'm going to apply the Born to Glow concealer, like I said, in the shade Pale. Going in with the other concealer now. Okay, so going in with a very mini little beauty blender, I'm going to spray it with the setting spray again. Okay, moving on to the next step.
I'm gonna hit the usual spots with this, so cheeks, a little bit on my forehead as well. I like to put a little bit on my chin here. One thing to remember though is you want to put this where you feel like you want it to be. For me, I want my chin to be a bit shorter, so I put that there.
So I'm going to use this contour stick that I have. It's the NYX Wonder Stick. It's the highlight and contour stick, but I'm just going to use the contour side, and it's a very cool tone, so I think that's going to be a lot better with my skin tone. She uses a lot more warm tones because she's so tan. The only thing about this is I've blended it out with a beauty blender a couple times, and I feel like the beauty blender takes the product almost completely off my face. She tends to use a brush when she's applying her contour, so I'm going to use a brush today to apply this. And I actually am going to put just a little bit right here because I do like my forehead to look a little bit smaller. I think she uses a different brush to do the nose part, but just to make sure, she said she does try and keep the product pretty much where she put it, but blends it up and then down, connecting it with the contour we put at the tip of our nose. So moving on to the next step.
And down the sides of my nose, I kind of like to bake in a way. I guess I leave excess powder on there. Can you see how far the powder goes? Like I'm still setting all the way down here. If I was using a normal sponge, it wouldn't do that. I feel like a normal sponge like munches up my product. Also gonna reverse contour here, bake it till we make it.
So I'm gonna go back to the NARS loose powder, and she likes to bake against the nose contour and under her eyes, and then along the contour on her cheeks underneath to lighten that area and make the contour of her cheeks stand out more. And then with the excess powder, she just puts it all over her face to set the rest of her face. So I'm gonna do that. I have the setting powder sitting on the sides of my nose and underneath my cheek contour. I don't know if she's gonna wipe it off yet or anything, so let's continue.
So good. I like setting the rest of your face. Swirl that in and just set these outer parts as well and kind of dust away the bake as we go.
So I'm gonna take that same big fluffy brush I used to apply that powder after we did our primer, and I'm going to set my entire face. Alright, moving on.
I feel like this adds another layer. I have oily skin, so it works perfectly for me. Adds another layer to like help it stay on. It smooths my skin out even more. It sets it nicely, but without it looking overly like powdery or dry looking.
Okay, going in with more powder. She's using a compact powder, and she's using one that's pretty close to the same foundation shade she used. So I'm going to do that with the same fluffy brush that I just used. Oh, and I'm using the Sheer Tint Finishing Powder by e.l.f. in Fair Light. I think the reason she does so much layering of the powders and stuff is to really just make everything blend and mesh well, rather than having any type of harsh lines or anything. And also I did notice that I completely wiped away my baking that I did along the sides of my nose, and she hasn't yet wiped that away. I guess oh well, I already did it. I am loving how this is looking, and I'm loving all these techniques I'm learning, but I kind of hope we're done with powders now. So let's see what the next step is.
Hit the forehead and temple areas. I kind of just go over everywhere that I put that cream contour.
Okay, so now she's just going in with powder contour, and because I'm pale, I'm going to use the Lovecraft Beauty palette, and it's 3 different bronze shades, and I'm using the lightest one that's a more cool tone, and it's Cymbeline right there. And I'm going to take my favorite bronzing brush, which is the Real Techniques 400 blush brush, but I use it for bronzing and it's amazing. I've said it like every video. She like does this weird thing where she like pulls her face up and then does it, so I guess I'll try that. She really does just go ham with the bronzer. I think we're looking good, so let's see what else she does.
I used to focus my blush more on the apples of my cheeks, but recently I've been putting it more up here, like on my cheekbones. I really feel like it lifts your face. So
moving on to blush, and she's using this really pretty orangey pink shade, and I happen to have a very similar shade. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Color Icon Keep It Peachy blush. It's a very similar orangey peachy shade. And then she said she likes to apply her blush more to the tops of her cheekbones now rather than the apple, because it lifts her face more. So I'm going to try that and see if it does give me a more lifted face effect. I'm going to use a Morphe brush. She's actually using a Morphe brush as well, and I haven't used this brush yet, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to use it for. So I'm going to try applying my blush with it, and it's the Morphe M427 brush.
I just go over it to make sure it's set, I guess, and it's quite strong. And I also make sure I take it right up underneath my eyebrows, on the tip of my nose.
Going back to her nose contour, she's gonna put some powder over her nose contour now, and I'm going to use the same powder I used all over my face, the bronzing powder from this palette, the Lovecraft Beauty palette. She's using a Hoola Beauty one, and I think the shade's actually pretty similar to the one I'm about to use. We're just gonna go over the same contour we did with the cream, and I'm gonna use the same blending brush I used for the cream contour to blend this powder out. I think the nose contour is looking a little too intense, so I'm actually just gonna go over it with some setting powder again. Okay, moving on.
I mainly focus my highlighter here on my cheekbones to kind of like pull them out. That lifts them, you know, and then I'm also gonna hit a bit on my forehead as well to give that a bit of glow. Love this brush for my nose. It's the...
Okay, I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to ruin my whole nose contour situation. So let's just move on and see what else she does. So for highlighters, she's mixing 2 different highlighters by NYX. I actually have a highlighter that looks like if you mix those 2, it would be this one. So I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Blossom Glow. It's a very iridescent, gold, pink, white looking highlighter, very light. To apply the highlighter, I'm going to use a very similar brush to what she used. It's a very small, fluffy brush. It melted right into my skin, just like the one she used. And then she takes an even smaller, like, flat brush, almost like a cut crease brush, and uses this to apply the highlighter to the tip of her nose and then a little bit of highlighter in between her eyebrows.
Two brown shades. This is gonna go in the crease.
Okay, so she's using two different shades of brown on her eyes. So I'm gonna take my Carly Bible BH Cosmetics palette, and then I'm going to take this kind of darker, like cool tone kind of brown, and then this warmer brown right here to do what she's doing. And we'll see how this goes. I'm not the best with eyeshadow, so hopefully I can give the same effect she's giving. And then I'm taking this double-sided Profusion blending brush. One side is like a fluffy blending brush, and the other side is a more flat blending side. I don't know if that looks anything like what she did, but let's see what else she does.
I'm also going to go underneath my eyes with this same brush.
And then she's going to take the same shades and she puts it underneath her eyes. I think I'm done with that, so moving on to the next step.
I'm going to go in with both. This is going to be our wing. All that I do is I just drag it back to about halfway on my eye and create like a really smoked out half wing, but this is just mapping out the shape.
So I'm going to just go in with a black shadow from my Morphe 35B palette, this bottom super dark black shade right here. So obviously she does a very like rough draft of her wing first, and it's a very like fat wing, so I'm going to do that with that eyeshadow. So done with that. Let's see what she does next.
Start smoking that out, particularly up here, you know, and I've started to pull it back really gently towards my brow.
So taking the same black shade I just used, and I'm going to start smoking out the liner a little bit more. So I ended up winging that eyeliner out quite a bit more than she did, so it's gonna look a little different than hers. Let's see what else she does with her eyes.
This next part, what I like to do is actually kind of do like a half cut crease situation. I'm just gonna map out kind of like a rough cut crease shape.
So this would not be a Jordan LIPSCOMBE tutorial if she didn't do a cut crease. So I'm going to do a cut crease on the inner corner of my eyes, and I'm just going to use the Sephora Make No Mistake concealer, and I'm using a cut crease brush. Obviously it's just this one right here. It's pretty small. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see what she does next.
Beautiful is this color. It's like a bronze gold. I just want to like put this all over my body.
So I'm going to take the same BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible collab palette again, and I'm going to take this really pretty bronzy gold shade right there and put this all over the cut crease we just did. Okay, so the gold shimmer is on. So moving on.
I dip back into the gold. I'm just gonna lightly buff out these edges.
I hope you guys can see me still. The light is so weird because the sun's in a different spot now. Instead of leaving the cut crease as is, she went back in with a little blending brush and actually diffused the cut crease line. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use the same gold shade to blend into my crease. I think so far so good. We're doing good. I think it's looking similar. I'm just the more pale version.
Final touches, I like to take the dark brown, teeny bit of the black, buff that right against my lash line to really...
So going back to the black shadow, I'm going to blend a little bit of that into my waterline. Hold please, I cannot film like this. This is not gonna work. Okay, I closed my curtains, so now you can see me a lot better.
Last thing, I like to take a brown liner to put in my waterline.
So now she takes a brown liner and she puts it in her waterline. So I'm going to take my Morphe eyeliner. It's the shade Bar.
Mascara and lashes to finish off. So one of my favorite mascaras at the moment is by Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. Now,
so she uses the new Maybelline mascara, which I happen to have. I just picked it up and it's one of my favorites. It's the Maybelline New York Falsies Lash Lift. I absolutely love this. It makes your eyelashes look way longer than they are. Okay, mascara on, and then she does falsies.
She sent these across and I'm not too sure what style these are, but they kind of are like cat-eyed. I will find out and put them in the...
So her falsies, she said, gives her more of a cat eye effect. So I grabbed my Morphe lashes, and they're the Melrose Ave lashes. They look like that. They fan out more in the corner of the eye, so it gives a little bit more of a cat eye effect. But I feel like this has to be pretty much the end besides setting spray, so let's see what she does next.
Such a good nude lip liner. It gives you the perfect sort of like definition for your lips. It's slightly dark, like a darker nude. If you overline like me, it's perfect. And it's...
Did I say we have to be almost done besides setting spray? How could I forget about the lips? How? Okay, so lips. What do I do? So I'm gonna do something a little scary, but because she's using a darker nude lip liner, and I would have to say like pretty much a brown lip liner, and I don't have that for some reason, I am going to try and line my lips with this Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Lipstick. This could be an epic fail. I look nuts. Moving on.
I'm gonna wear today. This is First Base, which is more of like a lighter orangey nude. Heads up.
So the closest thing I have to the shade of lipstick she's using is the NYX Lingerie Liquid Lipstick in the shade Baby Doll. So I'm gonna put that over the top of this. To lighten it up a little bit and mattify it a little bit more, I'm gonna use this Morphe Lip Crayon in the shade NSFW. So this is the color I ended up getting. I feel like it looks quite a bit different from her, but I think she's about to put on some gloss, so let's continue watching.
I've been loving lip balm as my gloss. The Carmex one is so good because...
So she just puts Carmex over her lips, and I definitely have that because I love Carmex. It was in my favorites video, the first video I ever posted. But because she has more of a nude lip going and I'm not really nailing that, I'm gonna try applying a nude lip gloss over this and see if it'll lighten it up a little bit. And my favorite lip gloss is the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer lip gloss, and it's in the shade Tease, shade 60.
Some setting spray, Huda Beauty. I'm gonna hold my breath.
Finally, setting spray. So she didn't really say exactly what setting spray she's using, I don't think, so she's just using a Morphe setting spray. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay All-Nighter because I don't have a Morphe setting spray, and I know this one is amazing and it makes my makeup stay all day. So this is the finished makeup look. I will put a picture of her with the same look next to me, and you can tell me if we look at all the same. Once again, I know I'm a much more pale version of her, but I feel like I actually kind of nailed this look. Other than the liner on me being a lot thicker and more blown out compared to hers, I think I pretty much nailed this look, I think. If you want to leave a comment down below letting me know how I did, I would really appreciate it because I feel pretty confident that I did a good job, but I really want to know from you guys. I am living for this. This is great. It's such a glamorous look. I'm ready to go out, have some drinks, have fun. Not that I'm actually doing that, but if we weren't in quarantine, I probably would because this look is too good to go to waste. But sadly, it's gonna have to because I'm not leaving my house for the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video, the whole recreating another YouTuber's makeup. I would love to do it again, so please like this video. It'll let me know if you liked this idea so that I can do more of it. And don't forget, once again, to subscribe and also click the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Stay safe, you guys, and I hope you're all doing well, keeping busy in some way, shape, or form. I hope that you are happy and healthy, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.